So Frozen 2 is a movie that I just saw in the movie theater, and it was okay. Okay, that's the video. That's it. Go home. Go home. And that's all, folks, except it's not. But really, what do I think about it? Well, I guess we gotta talk about my first thoughts about Frozen and give you an ad-lib version of how successful and weird, and I'm so tired of hearing Let It Go wherever and ever and ever. It haunts me. So I'm in the camp that thought the original Frozen was kinda overrated.
What? What are you talking about?
I got what it did for Disney on a financial level. It made the mad monies, but on an intellectual level, it's not a Lion King. As far as throwing you sideways and off a cliff, as far as your plot expectations, and oh my god, I can't believe the villain just killed that guy. I imagine the majority of you have seen Lion King, so why are you watching an animation channel if you haven't seen The Lion King? What are you doing with your life?
It's like a movie critic never having watched Citizen Kane, or a food critic never having tasted savoury.
As far as the first movie, it was fine. It was good, but I personally wasn't emotionally invested in it on a really impactful level. I know some other people are and wanted to go see the shorts that came in the movie theaters just to go see the shorts and not the actual movie that the shorts were showing in front of, but I wasn't one of those people. I was pleasantly surprised about how it kind of revived some animation aspects and made Disney those mad stacks, but you know, in general I like the conflict between Elsa and Anna, and I think they're both really good fleshed out characters and they have good conflict, and the original movie I think was too focused on trying to break cliches, and you can't marry a man you just met. Have you seen The Little Mermaid? I've seen The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid isn't really aging well is my point.
Hey, what'd you get for your birthday?
I got older!
That is weird.
And when the original movie came out, everyone's like, oh my god, there's such a twist, and I'm just like, I can tell by the marketing that Kristoff is actually going to be the love interest because Han isn't being made into a Barbie doll. I know what you did, Disney. I am a smart cookie. Maybe.
I am too smart. I am too smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-T.
As far as this one, you can tell it was definitely not planned. It's kind of nice that they incorporated a lot of the ideas to kind of keep it more of a narrative story. Mostly focusing on the backstory of Anna and Elsa's parents. Were you guys wondering that? I guess that's the question this movie wanted to answer. Well, okay.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Can Elsa be gay? That'd be neat. We can have gay pride Elsa costumes, and it's gonna be great. That's where the money is, Disney. Even U-Haul was getting in on this by shipping her with this new character that she barely had any screen time with, except to establish this one thing. No lesbian Elsa for us.
Disappointed!
As far as pros, I think this movie did a really good job as far as refleshing and refocusing on Anna and Elsa's relationship. And more specifically, pushing that Anna is okay with Elsa being anything ever, and it's so sweet, and I love it, and they just love each other so much. This movie also has a lot of death in it. Like, death is brought up at least like 3 or 4 times verbally, and there's this whole thing we're seeing where the parents actually died on that boat, and I'm like, this is morbid, man.
You know, for kids!
I was kind of expecting that the parents were going to be alive this whole time, and I'm kind of thinking if there's a third Frozen, that's the angle they're going to take. There are a lot of Avatar-esque elements in this too, like the movie's trying really hard to give a natural explanation to why Elsa has ice powers, and that she is the 5th element, like the movie, and
I have so many questions!
And had some really good emotional moments, especially with Anna, as far as her just getting through everything by herself because she's a strong, independent woman, and I love Anna. But in general, the movie felt very underwhelming. The original Frozen is such the juggernaut of frozenness that it is, but this movie didn't have a lot for the other characters to do. Like, Olaf's annoying for the most part, except a couple of times in this one running gag where he explains the plots very bluntly, and I love it. And Kristoff is just kind of cut out of the movie halfway through because he has one subplot, and that's all they could think to do with him.
Guy who tries to propose but always gets stopped. Which, as we all know, is a fresh and riveting role for a character to have in a movie.
I love it how the new character Ryder has more in common with him and they bond. I was half expecting that Kristoff was going to be revealed to be from this village the entire time because of how much he has in common with the native people that were in touch with the spirits, but he doesn't have anything to do. This movie's like, screw that. He only has board ballads to sing, which are also super funny.
Jonathan Groff is required by law to sing in every movie ever from now on.
Good job. But it depends kind of what you're going into this movie for. If you're going into it for the plot of Elsa and Anna and they're reestablishing character development, then this movie should be pretty good for you because it's full of sweet moments like that. If you're going in for Olaf, which I imagine some people are because there's like a crap ton of Olaf merchandise everywhere, then you probably will be a little disappointed that the movie doesn't really give him anything to do except have this kind of weird concept about what is age. I'm a philosopher, Olaf, and I'm like, I guess this is the thing we're doing. Like that's what we're going with. I kind of like naive Olaf a little better. I personally like Elsa'S Arc in this movie, even though it's kind of confusing. This whole mythology isn't really explained as clearly as I would like. Why does Elsa choose to stay? What is she gaining by being in the woods specifically? Except just kind of being around the other elements. If she is immortal, how does that work if she's the fifth element? But I've got no answers for you. And it was nice that this movie also didn't have like a straight up villain. The villain was a villain, but the issue is kind of already pre-established, which is good. If they had another twist villain, I swear to God, I would be angry. But in general, besides all that, I was pleasantly surprised, even though it does feel a little underwhelming, and they're not sure what direction they want to go with it, and it's definitely not the first movie, and a lot of the characters don't have anything to do, but the new characters are kind of fun. That general is like my favorite new character, because he's just so sweet, and he's interacting with Olaf's story, and Olaf's story is the best part of the movie, but the actual mythology is a little bit confusedly explained, and some of the subplots with the other characters felt pretty underwhelming, so it's like an okay movie. I still recommend going to see it. I enjoyed a good chunk out of the songs. They're not amazing, but a lot of them are fun. The opening song is probably my favorite right now, and then Elsa's Show Yourself is also pretty great and sad, and I love it, but I don't know. It just didn't feel like Toy Story 3 levels of this movie deserves to exist. This movie's like, hey, I'm here whether you like me or not, and I'm like, okay? But it's definitely not the worst movie ever. Maybe like a 7 out of 10, if something like that.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
It doesn't hurt to see, definitely, but as long as you know those expectations and know that Kristoff and Ola don't really have anything to do, and Elsa's gonna follow this voice that potentially might turn into trouble, then it's fine. It's a good movie. If you like the trolls, though, they're barely in this, so sorry. Boo, I'm a grown adult talking about Frozen 2. And that's all, folks, except it's not time for the ending gag.
I am afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you into the unknown.
Shut up! I'm trying to sleep!
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Click here to subscribe, we really appreciate it. Don't forget to turn your notifications on to get notified every time we make a new video. Click here to check out the main collaborator for the video, usually the editor. Click here to check out our video playlist for this video, where you'll find similar videos that you might just like, hopefully. There's also a credit scroll here where you can check out all the other awesome contributors. All their info is in the description. That's all I gotta say, KPOA!